Hi, dear friend. So I just thought it would be very nice if I shared a little bit of knowledge or wisdom with you this afternoon. Don't believe every dream that you have. My husband once told me that he had this very prophetic dream after we had attended a Joyce Meyer conference. I wouldn't say it was a prophetic dream, but it was a meaningful dream. He said he saw Jesus coming down through the earth like a drill. He saw the second coming of Jesus like a drill, drilling down into the earth. That's interesting. I never had a dream like that, but he doesn't often share his dreams with me. Sometimes we have strange dreams and we share them with one another. Last night I had a dream, but, when I first woke up, I was very convinced I'm going to have to do what I did in this dream. I was so convinced I was going to have to demand the email address from somebody so I could email somebody else in order to communicate with them to explain my side of the story. Your side of the story, nobody cares about your side of the story. Thank you, Patrick. I love that. I love that Patrick voice that you have. Because you can't claim to be, quote unquote, quote, fair and balanced, unquote, nothing to do with Fox News, unless you hear all sides of the story. But I've just been spoon-fed the same side of the story. I want to tell you something about the internet. I think it broke my brother. I think it came very close to breaking my oldest child. Internet is, it's a freeway, as they used to say. Back in the 90s, early 90s, the information superhighway. There are no troopers. That creepy little girl, whatever happened to her? I remember these things. Maybe better than you do. Well, who's screaming? Well, people will scream, I don't want to tell you I had a dream last night. I was convinced I'm going to have to do this, but I realized since I had been having so much difficulty sleeping lately, so much, I would get better, and then I'd do better, and then I try to do the best I could as a Christian. I am a Christian, I admit that. If you want to keep listening, go ahead. Caution. Well, we already knew in the first place that you were a Christian. We didn't want to listen to you. But you're going to keep listening. I hope you will. During our REM sleep or REM sleep, our anxieties and our trauma are sort of processed, as the English would say, or processed, as Americans would say. And I woke up. I actually didn't initially have the feeling that I should actually attempt to get the email address of a person that I want to get in contact with and write them an email. And I was going to spend like half an hour to 45 minutes on this email to persuade them. Listen, if the Holy Spirit doesn't persuade them, how can I? I've been trying for years, I see, as my Irish side comes out here. Can we move on? So I would say if you have a dream, like if you're just a normal person, I had a dream. All I had was like a little cup of tea before. Was valerian root. Did that cause me to have that bad nightmare? Maybe I should just throw that tea away. I don't know. I'm not sure. It told me it promised I would be able to fall asleep. Maybe I should throw that tea away. I'm not sure what dreams may come. You know that was coming. You knew it was coming. I don't know. I probably should just end this message right now. Have I ever had like a dream? Yeah, one that seemed meaningful to me. Yes, exactly. I did have a dream that I just remember to this day. A lot of these crazy dreams, even when you're a kid, you just forget about them. But I do remember one dream in particular. It was my grandparents' house, which was really akin to a Victorian mansion. They used to build houses huge, or as a president would say, huge in that neighborhood. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have even said that. That's going to turn some people off. It's so passe. Why did you not resist? I don't know. It just came to mind. Okay, of course, not everything that comes to mind. Yeah, I know, I understand that. So, yeah, when I was a little girl, I was about 4 years old. There was this horrible goblin that was chasing me throughout my grandparents' house. I would go from bedroom to bedroom, and then I ended up in my grandparents' bedroom. My dad told me something kind of gross about my grandmother after my mother passed away, but I'm not going to share that with you because that's very proprietary information. And I was so scared of it, and then I looked at it and I said, boo, and then it just went away. It was something like that. Or I looked at him and suddenly he seemed friendly. Like there was some sort of intervention on my behalf. I am so thankful for that. We keep hearing these weird stories on the internet. Oh, it's just an urban legend. It's just staggering. The abuse that was happening during the 1970s, during the 1980s. Sorry, I was just coughing there. And the trauma there seemed to be a great deal of trauma within, I will venture to say, the American public school system, but also even in the parochial school system. I don't know anything else I've never attended it. Parochial is sort of a pseudonym for Catholic. My parents said they were going to send me to a Catholic school. I was like, oh yeah, I really want to go to a Catholic school because that would make me really special. And they would teach me more religion. At that time, I think I must have been saved because I love Jesus so much. Might have been 5. Of course, Dad would say, oh, I'm going to do this. And then he wouldn't do it, So I think I'm that kind of a person. Like, I probably am that kind of a person. Like, I really wanted to do it, but it wasn't financially feasible. In other words, I meant well. Sometimes people do mean well. They do. They certainly mean well. I think my dad meant well. But talk about trauma. I don't think dodgeball was horrible at all. I was having a fun time with dodgeball in the 4th grade. And then I realized, I actually needed glasses because I could hardly see anything going on around me. Why didn't the teachers pick up on it before? I can't even see the chalkboard. I can't even see it. I can't see. It was a chalkboard. Now it's a whiteboard, I guess. Maybe you called it a blackboard. Maybe that's why I didn't do well with math, because I couldn't see anything, and nobody picked until 4th grade, until I came forward to my parents. I said, listen, I was in a gym class and everything was so fuzzy. I said, is it possible there's something wrong with my vision? Being the little genius that I was, And I don't know, you could call me. Well, my parents really thought that I was, but maybe I was, and not the way they wanted me to be. And so actually, I got my eyes examined, and actually I had to get these glasses. Glasses back then had plastic frames and actual glass lenses, and they were so heavy. I was this little girl, and I told my teacher, who also had glasses, I thought she was I thought she was terrific. I said, it's really, is making my ears hurt wearing these glasses all day. And she said, just wait, you're going to get calluses on your ears. And then you'll be able to tolerate those glasses. Like, oh, yeah, I know. I had some teachers that were kind, like guardian angels, and then other teachers who were just, you wouldn't want to be alone with them full time because they had it in for you or out for you. We say in Ohio, he has it in for you. It means he really doesn't like you and he would love to see anything bad happen to you that possibly could happen. Correct? Or if he has it out for you, it would be the same definition. And so that's what I'm saying. Trauma was experienced during the 1970s and the 1980s and the 1990s. I graduated at the end of the decade, so I can't tell you what happened to my brother, but I can tell you a few things. And he trusted a lot of people that he shouldn't have trusted, and they allowed a lot of occultic influences into the school district. That's what I think. Don't think because it's in a rural area that can't happen. It can happen to unsuspecting, untutored people. So, to conclude my message, I would recommend that you would watch Through the Bible with Les Feldick. It is available on YouTube, and also, I'm sure he has a website. It's probably lesfeldick.com. It's L-E-S, is it LESFELDICK.com. And then you'll get the whole series. And I think you'll be very interested in everything that it has to say. I appreciate your listening. Now, don't believe every dream that you have. This might only be part one of my message. Adios.